This is the Precision Payload Delivery System, the world's first operational cardboard drone, a disruptive weapon reshaping modern warfare. It began in a place known for spiders the size of dinner plates. The Australian defense company SYPAQ developed and produces this system. They built their reputation on innovative, cost-effective designs for the Australian military, which faces the logistical challenges of vast distances. Supplying remote outposts in the outback via vehicle or plane was prohibitively expensive. SYPAQ needed a solution, and the Precision Payload Delivery System, or PPDS, was born. The PPDS merges modern technology with deceptive simplicity. At first glance, the drone resembles a miniaturized aircraft, though SYPAQ has not released precise specifications. Analysis of publicly available photographs reveals its compact dimensions. From wingtip to wingtip, the PPDS measures approximately 2 feet in length, with a similar distance from propeller to tail. It stands roughly 10 inches tall. Its appearance is more akin to a middle school science fair project than a cutting-edge weapon. But this is intentional. The PPDS is designed to be flat-packed onto a pallet with about 10 drones per bundle. This allows for cheap and rapid global shipping, enabling users to assemble the drone with minimal time and tools. The entire assembly process, from packaging to flight readiness, takes approximately 1 hour, involving rubber bands, hot glue, and a simple spanner wrench to attach the propeller. Combined with charging the lithium-ion battery and configuring an Android tablet, the PPDS is ready for deployment. The drone's main body features a shoebox-sized compartment capable of carrying a 3-kilogram payload. A unique wax coating enables the PPDS to operate in virtually any weather condition, rain or shine, day or night. But how has Ukraine transformed this unassuming design into what the media has dubbed the origami of death? Originally intended for resupply missions in austere environments, the Ukrainians recognized the PPDS's potential in countering the proliferation of Russian kamikaze drones targeting their critical infrastructure. They needed a cost-effective weapon to strike back. Ukraine began to improvise. Videos released by the Ukrainian military show PPDS drones modified to carry bombs. These bombs appear to be either remotely activated or detonated by a pressure plate behind the propeller. Once triggered, the circuit completes and the aircraft explodes. Unlike the Iranian-designed Shahed drones employed by Russia, the PPDS possesses advanced capabilities. One of its key advantages is autonomy. That Android tablet we mentioned, it plays a critical role in mission planning. The proliferation of GPS jamming in Ukraine renders most commercial drones ineffective. When a jammer scrambles the GPS signal, these drones typically crash, hover until their battery dies, or catastrophically return to their launch point. This would be disastrous for Ukrainian operators, exposing them to Russian artillery fire. So how does a paper airplane defeat GPS jammers? The answer lies in ArduPilot, a commercial software suite that enables the drone to conduct military operations in GPS-denied environments. ArduPilot uses a combination of onboard sensors and software programs to determine the drone's position without relying on GPS. One core component is an inertial navigation system, or INS. The drone takes off from a known reference point. Using calculations derived from speed and magnetic course changes, the software estimates the drone's position relative to preloaded waypoints downloaded from the Android tablet. This system isn't perfect. Over time, errors accumulate, potentially throwing the drone off course. That's why ArduPilot employs multiple methods to maintain its trajectory. One crucial technique is simultaneous localization and mapping, or SLAM. The drone captures images and compares them to previously taken images with GPS data. In essence, the PPDS utilizes a system similar to those developed for Tomahawk cruise missiles at a fraction of the cost. The drone also incorporates onboard barometers, rangefinders, and magnetometers. By comparing this data to known data in the pre-recorded mission library, the drone maintains an accurate understanding of its location. Leveraging this technology, Ukraine has deployed nearly every one of the approximately 100 PPDS drones it receives each month as kamikaze weapons. And these attacks have yielded significant results on the battlefield. In August 2023, the Ukrainians confirmed the first combat use of PPDS drones following a successful attack on a Russian airbase in Kursk. Kursk, over 60 miles from the international border. During this attack, described by Russian servicemen as a swarm attack designed to overwhelm AIR defenses, the PPDS inflicted catastrophic damage. In total, the PPDS destroyed 4 S-300 launchers and 1 MiG-29 fighter aircraft, along with 2 Pantsir air defense systems and the radar of an S-300 air defense system. The attack destroyed nearly $2 million worth of military equipment. Assuming approximately 50 drones were involved, the cost was no more than $55,000 per drone. For every dollar spent, Ukraine inflicted $800 in damage. This was just one attack. Reports from the front lines indicate that Ukraine is deploying these drones as rapidly as they arrive. But how does the PPDS compare to more traditional attack drones, such as the US Reaper or the Turkish Bayraktar? When comparing the PPDS to advanced military drones like the Reaper, a critical distinction must be made. The Reaper was designed for the war on terror, with operators flying the drone from Nevada to eliminate targets in Afghanistan. Attempting to compare the Reaper's flight time, payload, and speed to the PPDS is misleading. The Reaper, costing up to $100 million per unit and around $3,500 per flight hour, is undoubtedly more advanced than the cardboard drone. However, this difference highlights the PPDS's primary advantage: cost effectiveness. When a Reaper drone is lost, it's a significant event. With the Reaper's high operating costs, the Ukrainian military can potentially acquire numerous PPDS drones for every hour a Reaper is airborne. While the US has faced minimal interference from terrorists jamming high-precision weapon systems, Ukraine operates in a heavily contested environment. The advanced jammers in Ukraine could render systems like the Reaper ineffective or severely degrade their performance. Ukraine needs a scalable weapon system that can be readily replaced. As the attacks on the Kursk airbase demonstrate, the PPDS is far more advanced than most commercially available civilian drones. With a range of approximately 120 kilometers and a top speed of around 60 kilometers per hour, the PPDS can reach virtually any target in occupied Ukraine and border areas like Kursk or Belgorod. While drones like the Turkish Bayraktar TB2 are effective, especially at a cost of several million dollars per unit, they have their limitations. In addition to being susceptible to Russian jamming, the Bayraktar also faces scalability challenges. The Ukrainian military has procured no more than 50 Bayraktar drones throughout the war. Factoring in operational losses and maintenance downtime, the number of operational Bayraktars at any given time is significantly lower. While the Bayraktar addresses some cost issues compared to the Reaper, it does not resolve the need for economy of scale when the goal is to saturate the battle space with armed drones. This doesn't even take into account the one thing that the PPDS actually does better than both the Reaper and the Bayraktar: detectability. When anything is flying around, whether it be a drone, an aircraft, or a missile, air defense radars look for it by sending out pulses of energy and then capturing the return of that energy to see what it bounced off of, where it bounced off of, and the time it took to return. Using this information, the fire control computers of air defense systems can basically interpret the raw data on the screen into what are the likely targets. This is because things like clouds and other atmospheric conditions can do all sorts of wonky things to radar pulses to make the data hard to decipher. When trying to make something appear invisible on radar, there are several ways to do this: turning hard corners into curved edges, painting the AR craft with radar absorbent paint, and using non-metallic materials to make the AR craft reflect less energy, so the return looks like some clutter on a radar screen instead of a moving object. The PPDS's secret weapon is its inherent stealth. Constructed from cardboard, the drone is virtually invisible to most air defense radars. While some advanced radars may detect it, the drone would have to be very close, and at that point, it may already be too late to react. The PPDS system enables Ukraine to repeatedly strike at Russia while simultaneously holding them at bay. Furthermore, the onboard ArduPilot software negates the effectiveness of Russian GPS jamming in Ukrainian airspace. The PPDS will find its way. Even if the PPDS doesn't find a target, it can return to its launch site and be reused. Ukrainian operators have reported some PPDS drones lasting up to 60 flights. With this persistent presence of virtually undetectable drones, no military site within 120 kilometers of the front line is safe, and the situation is only worsening for Russia. Following reports of the PPDS drones' success, success in their current configuration, SYPAQ began incorporating feedback from Ukrainian operators to enhance their lethality. One primary request was for a larger version with a greater payload. SYPAQ responded with the PPDS Heavy Lift Model, or PPDS DHL. This enhanced drone is even more deadly, boasting a maximum range of 200 kilometers, a top speed of 80 kilometers per hour, and a doubled payload capacity of 6 kilograms. The PPDS-DHL can reach larger targets at greater distances. In addition to carrying weapons, Ukraine has begun equipping these drones with electronic warfare suites to jam Russian signals. Ukraine is also coordinating the use of these and regular PPDS drones with other drones and missiles. Reports from Russian servicemen claim that Ukraine now employs numerous empty PPDS drones to confuse and overwhelm Russian air defenses. With these advancements in both technology and tactics, history books may very well remember that Ukraine was quite literally saved by a paper airplane. This is Goba Military. Subscribe for more real-time battlefield breakdowns and tactical deep dives.